hills and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's bit in his eye. Well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and a long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I dry my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober as a...
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shortbangers. I'm Matty, joined tonight by Colin. Colin, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Aye, bro. Been a busy wee day at work and everything. It's glad to kind of kick back with some nonsense at this late hour of the evening. John, how you doing?
Aye, good. I realised looking at myself in the webcam that I look like a bag of shite. I desperately need a haircut.
I'm in the same position. I've spent most of my day working on a report, so I've been kind of like, literally pulling my hair out, but like that. So that's why my hair's the state that it's in, and I've not been at hairdressers for ages, so that's what it is.
I think it
That's what it is.
I think it looks that bad for
Nah. I've kind of done all the whatever filters I can do on the Zoom to try and make it look better. Right,
Is it?
we're just
Who
going
was the boy that was on? What was that ghost program? Was it Derek Acora? He had the sort of white hair going on. Do you know?
Oh, is he the boy that used to speak to? What was the name? He used to have like his wee assistant that didn't exist, and he would go
like a spirit guide or something like that.
Aye, what are you saying, Matthew? Aye, what they're saying is, and this is how we go. He used to fucking be on. He used to be on the. Was it James Whale on Talk Sport? He used to, or Talk Radio, I think, maybe at the time, and he used to go on there, and folk would phone in, and he would pretend that he was speaking to his wee spirit guide, and then give him an answer. Sam, was that the name?
Spirit guide, aye, Sam.
You think these folk
nonsense
that they're at it? Do you think they know, or do you think they genuinely believe that they can talk to ghosts?
I don't know if they've just made this out believe it because they've told everybody for that long. They've started believing the lie.
Aye.
Was it
Darren Brown started on it, eh? Darren Brown did a brilliant one on it where he just tore it apart. The cold reading. That's what it is, a cold reading.
Aye, no, he would watch them coming in the car park within a white car and like blah blah blah, and then he would sit because he'd watched them coming in and stuff.
Aye. What was it? He did one. It was like in Liverpool. Showing the woman, because he was showing how folk get information off of Facebook and all the rest of it. Like they could do their research, and they got somebody in. So I think the spirit, the medium, had said, "Well, this person is going to look up their stuff. Like I've not seen their no on Facebook, and so how would I possibly can?" And he was stumped after it because I think how he's done that one, and then they did a bit of digging, and it was like the brother-in-law or something of the next door neighbour.
Right.
For the medium, it was just a big fucking stitch up. Aye,
The folk buy into it, like my mum and sister.
Aye.
They believe it all. They take it all in. And I'm going, sort of shite. Watch that Darren Brown program.
Aye, I'm with you.
Just the magic.
What a nonsense. I've got somebody coming through the now. Ken, it's that's when an A or a B, and an A or a B, maybe a wait a second. I think it's a C or a D. A C or have we got a D? Was it your dad? Maybe your dad, not your brother. Was it a man? Was it your mum? Was it starting with a what? With an S? I'll get it coming through yet. But Susan, Sarah, Sue. Sandra, got it. That's it. Sally, great. And she's telling me that she loved you very much, and she wants you to know that she knows that you're thinking about her. Oh fuck! How would you ken that? How would you ken? She tells you not to worry. She's in a good place now. How did she ken I was worried about my dead mum?
Might get some complaints about this. There's maybe folk out there sitting and going, I believe in all that shit.
Well, I'm sorry, it's not my fault. You're a fucking idiot, right?
I should say right up front. Maybe we should apologise for the swearing, just to Vivas.
Oh, aye, Ian.
Palmeiras.
Aye, Ian.
Really fucking sorry about the.
I wholeheartedly apologise if we got you into trouble, Ian. And if Mrs. Ian's listening, I'm sorry. We didn't mean it. A big boy made us do it and run away, or a ghost made us do it. It was a good idea.
We're just immature wee boys at the end of the day. That's all it is. It's toilet humour.
Aye.
Exuberance, no malice.
Just childish little laddies. That's us.
Drawing bobbies.
Big Bobbies did say that. We can't. There's a limit to how much we're allowed to swear on here, right? Right. First question of the night.
Say
Leon.
so. It's your podcast.
Oh, I fucking right. So it is. Leon Rossa said, Rangers keep teasing us with the threat of not attending away fixtures. Marks out of 15. How good would that be?
That's a full 15. How good it would
Aye.
be if they never turned up.
Oh, I think it's into the high. It's just short of 2,000 maybe.
Aye. It's a straight 15 full marks. Leon also asked, what's the exchange rate on the blue pound?
That's before. Did they start working it out
Oh,
based on how much they paid? They had whatever their debt was and how they paid like a penny in the pound and worked
It's-
it.
Aye.
I was going to suggest it's a wee bit like Schrodinger's currency. It's both worth something unless you're due to pay someone for goods and services.
In which case it's worth
And
nothing.
then you go, well, you're not getting fuck up. You're getting X amount in the pound.
By the way, Schrodinger getting a shout here as well. That's the calibre of podcast. It's not just all about swearing. Sometimes
it's-
we're
Intellectual stuff in there as well.
let's not get carried away. Right. Next question is from Fats Prickus. Do French people call bran scones scran bons?
I don't know what's a equivalent for scran, but bon would be good. But then bonbons, what's the translation of that? Does that mean good goods?
Oh, I could use like the equivalent of a yum yum here and for Greg's or whatever.
Scran bon.
Why would they call it scrambons? Is this a translation? I don't speak French at all. So.
I think it was just a joke, or I think we were maybe looking too much into it. I think it's just because it sounded good. Eh?
But normally he does that, and it's got a reason, like a thing. But that just sounds.
No, that's a raisin. That's a scraisin bon.
It's a spoonerism,
Squeeze and
isn't it?
bun.
When you swap the first and last, or the first letters and last letters around. You do that with my name, I become Fatty Mairney, which is appropriate. Paul Mackay, so what's the best, what's the Christmas song that you'd ban? For me, I have, oh fuck's sake. Let's get out of my meeting. Hello, she's there for a minute. Hello, I'm back.
You're still there.
Was there?
I know. I just heard you. I heard the phone go, and you go, "Oh fuck! I've been kicked out of the meeting. You've never left."
Brilliant. So, what happens is sometimes when a phone call comes through, the Zoom
Well, you just
goes
got to leave
away.
this in.
I'm just going to leave that in. It's all part of the thing. It asked me if I
experience.
want to answer the phone on the MacBook, and I didn't want to do that. So there you go. Right, what's the Christmas song that you'd ban? For me, I have the two, Leona Lewis one and Jonah Louie. I didn't care either of those two.
No, is that the one? I'm sure that's Jonah Louie.
Isn't it?
Wish I was at home for Christmas.
Christmas. That's all right. That isn't it? Take that.
But I think
Leona
that's the
Lewis
only.
is that One More Sleep one. Yeah.
Is it?
I'm not singing it. I'm not singing it.
Ah.
That's One More Sleep. The one I would ban, but it's probably already. Would I ban it? Because it is. So it has been banned. Is Another Rock and Roll Christmas by Gary Glitter. That's been banned, but it's a cracking tune. So would you ban it? Would you bring it out to ban? Like,
why is it banned? Like when you say
It's Gary
banned,
Glitter.
you mean like you can't
Aye.
listen to it or can't?
you've got to go and find it. It's still on Spotify. You've got to go and find it. But then he gets royalties out of it, so that's your
Aye.
moral
Aye.
dilemma.
But they'll no stick it on playlists and stuff like that because he was a
No.
wrong one.
All right, so you mean it's banned for like radio playing, what have you?
Oh,
Aye.
aye, it's not only get played again, like unless you pick it on your list. So
Which you shouldn't, really.
you shouldn't really,
Aye.
but then I still play the Oasis song that's he's got a credit on, so he still gets money for
Yeah.
that as well.
What's that? It's
Hello?
not come on Feel the Noise. What's the credit?
Hello, isn't it? Hello. To do.
It's hello, it's good to be back.
I didn't realise that was Gary Glitter. Or inspired by it.
Well, they just
Not one
started
of the
that.
best songs, to be fair, is it? Like, it's all right, but not one
Yeah.
of the best ones. Better than Roll Whip, but not much.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Fats Pricky said, if a giraffe is standing upright and does a fart, will the fart have disappeared before it reaches its nostrils?
It's going to have to come round the. No, it depends how strong it is, how strong the
How
blend
potent.
is. Aye.
Are we talking about its own fart?
Yeah.
Like a giraffe's own fart? Because a giraffe would fart in the opposite direction from where it's facing. So the fart needs to be blown
No, because when you
in
fart,
the
you can
noses.
smell it. And you're
Aye,
facing
but
that way
I've not
for
got
you
the same dimension. I know I'm tall, but I've not got the same dimensions as a giraffe.
Oh, but
It's
no,
a bit
but
of
still, you're
distance to
facing in
travel.
the other direction for you, though.
If the wind was going towards the giraffe's nose and it was a strong enough wind, I think the giraffe would definitely get a whiff. And they're vegetarian as well, so they're going to have quite smelly farts, you would think.
Oh, you mean
Mm.
Gillian McKeith friendly farts?
Yeah. So I would say, and I've just had a text in for our pal David Attenborough, who answers these sort of questions for us,
Right.
and he says his exact words are, "You better fucking believe it." So there you go. Thanks, David, for clearing that one up for us. Caterer's Corner said, if the old, more successful Rangers were worth £1 after 140 years, then new, less successful Rangers with 1/14th of history and 1/55th of trophies are worth 1/10 of 1p. I think he's answering the £blue question there.
Mm.
Aye, I think that's
actual
the
maths.
official conversion rate. Aye.
Aye. Billy has some annoyances here. He says he's annoyed by people who chew loudly, people who disregard opinions because you put a spelling mistake, Hibs throw-ins, people who say, "Well, you're blind" when trying your glasses on. No shit, that's why I need glasses. And people who don't allow you to change your opinion after getting new info. The glasses one is mental. We didn't get it so much with contact lenses because nobody asked to try them on. But
No, it's funny that.
aye,
We could probably have a discussion about that. Like people who state the obvious. I mind I laugh every time I hear this, but I always think back to going into MacArthur Glen in Livingston, and there was a woman coming out with her pal, and she goes, "Oh, that sun's bright." What?
there must be somebody called Glenn MacArthur, eh?
Well,
See the
definitely.
odds are.
Do you
Think
remember
you
the
like
other place
shopping?
at Livingston? What was it? Did you remember the other place that used to be out there? Was it Freeport? Was it what
It
it was called?
was
It used
something
to
like
be a
that.
wee before
Was it
MacArthur
West
Glen, and
Calderwood?
it got built.
It was further out than Livingston, wasn't it?
Was it? Can't mind. Aye, there was a place called Freeport anyway. I don't know if
Was
it's
it
still
not
not
meant to have
said
like tax breaks or something on it or something like that? The stuff was a bit cheaper. I can't mind. The thing with the glasses, you ever? So I wear contact lenses, right? Call, you wear contacts?
Do, yep.
Have you ever tried your glasses when you've got your own contact lenses on? Because I imagine that's the equivalent of somebody with 20/20 vision trying your glasses on. Thinking if you've ever done it, I'm quite blind, but I know that when I take my contact lenses out, that I'm quite blind because I can't see fuck all. But
So when you wear contacts and you put your glasses on, like, is everything skewed, or you've got like X-ray vision?
with lasers, that everything's skewed. So your
Like
contact
fucking
lenses,
Cyclops when you take them off again.
contact lenses sort your vision out so you see as you would if you had 20/20 vision. And then when you put glasses on, it bends light into your eyes, so it makes it off center again.
Have you guys heard of the contact lenses that you can wear overnight?
I wear them.
That alters it alters the shape of your eyeball or your cornea, so it means that you don't have to wear your contact lenses throughout the day. It's like an overnight thing.
Oh no,
I know it sounds like absolute bullshit, and the person at work that told me about it, I said to them, "That sounds like absolute bullshit," and they went, "It's no bullshit. I've just been for an appointment to get them fitted."
Aye.
I don't think it's like pardon the pun, but I don't think it's like a one size fits all. I think you need to have like a specific condition with your eyes, and I don't mean like a 1 in 100,000 people have got this condition. I mean, it's not necessarily to do with your vision. It's something that must be something to do with it, like I say, the shape of your eyeball.
Shape of your eye or something. Aye.
I wonder if it's
and this, I don't know if it like compresses it or something, or kind of like I actually don't know how this works. I almost want to have problems with my sight to go and like try this bloody squidgy contact lens out.
I wonder if it's like you see when I was a teenager, I had braces, right, and they gave you these like a headset thing to wear at night.
Did you have the big retainer?
So it was like it went over your head and it had hooks and it had elastic bands, so the hooks would go into your braces and elastic bands. And what it would do is, when you were sleeping, is it would basically pull on your teeth to bring them back into shape. I'll be honest, with you, I never fucking wore it because you looked at
No,
it and we were like,
you can see that.
you go, no danger. It looked like a torture contraption. It looked absolutely horrific. So I never really kind of bothered with it as I should have done. And funnily enough, that kind of joking about it, but it didn't really seem to make that much difference. But I wonder if it's like that, except the wee things hook onto your eyes when you put your bed and it pulls it back that way.
Maybe.
I quite like the idea of that though. If it meant you didn't have to wear them through the day.
So you wear them at night when you're sleeping, basically, and then during the day. Must
And
be
then
like,
in the morning,
like your battery running out on the way home, though. You're thinking, "Fuck, these things have got to wear off soon."
I think I asked a similar question. They did say that towards the end of the evening, that's when things start to get a wee bit fuzzy again. But then I'm guessing that's when you put your TV or your reading specs back on. Have you got different specs for different occasions, Mike?
Aye, I've got. I'm saying aye. No, I don't.
He's got his working spectacles and he's got his TV spectacles.
There used to be well, it probably is still a joke. It was like, why does it take folk with glasses twice as long to wank? Right? And this is a visual joke, but it was like.
You need a pair of the old,
listening, and it's like basically they have to stop everything and get to push the glasses back up the bridge of their nose.
You need a pair of the Dennis Taylors if you want to have a wank.
But I've got contact lenses. I sleep in them. That you put them in at the start of the month, and you change them at the end of the month. But you can sleep in them and kick about in them all the time. They're fantastic. Like I would.
So hold on, you wear a set of contact lenses, and you can wear them for a month at a time, and you never have to take them out.
You take them out like to get your eyes a wee break. You take them out maybe every 2 weeks. I'll take them out overnight or whatever, and just to give my eyes a wee rest. But they're really comfortable. It's brilliant. You make
it's like taking your eyes on holiday.
Aye. A wee vacation. Aye. Right, Fats Prickus. Do snowmen call their socks snokes? As an SNOWCKS. And had on the now hen, just putting my snokes on, for example. The snowman might say.
I don't think I've seen a snowman with feet.
I don't think I've seen a snow legs.
Have you seen snowballs though?
Aye.
I'm still finishing off the Christmas questions here. We're still going.
Aye, that's it.
Christmas songs and snowmen.
Snowmen couldn't wear socks because then their feet would melt, and then they'd just be shorter. That's why they didn't have them.
But what if they were made of snow?
Snow socks, snokes.
Aye. Snokes.
Well, what's the point of wearing them then? If not, to keep your feet warm.
But their entire body's snow. Well, they wear a scarf, and that doesn't thaw them out.
That's a good point. Actually,
they've got what is it? They say is it a corn? What's the pipe made out of? Is it a corn-cob pipe? You know the song Frosty the Snowman. I'm not singing it. Fuck, I can see the look in your eye.
That's my night ruined right there. What kind of pipe Frosty the Snowman had? A crack pipe. Parma 2 said, "Is our new manager really, really short?" Yes.
It's just that he's really far away.
Right. Louise has again quite a few gripes here. People who say onions instead of onions, there, etc., getting mixed up. Loud chewers. People that say Asda's and Lidl's, etc. Men that whistle. It's always men. Whispering. She says, "Oh my God, I could be here all day." Folk watching videos on public transport. Groggers. Old folk that think all young folk are arseholes. Any disagreements or highlights in those ones? The Aldi's and Tesco, or no Tesco's, Aldi's and Tesco's and Lidl's, pluralising it for some reason. You've got Aldi, but I could probably say I've got Aldi's. Aldi, if you can.
I didn't go there.
Well, Tesco's, when you go, am I going to Tesco or are you going to Tesco's?
I'd probably say both.
I'd probably mix it up a bit. I'm going to be conscious of it now. What about you, John? What shop do you go to?
Aldi, Lidl,
and when
Morrison's.
You say Morrison's is And when you say to the missus where you're going, where do you tell her you're off to?
Aldi, Lidl, Morrison's. I
There it is.
remember replying to Louise at the time when she was talking about folk pronouncing onions, onions. What I've never heard it, and I can't believe that there's someone, at least one person walking about there who does that.
No, I've heard ingen, like an ingen, but I've never heard an onion.
Aye.
Onion.
Here, they're the ones about there, and they are, and here, or where, they're ones that I totally agree with you. And that ties into the point earlier, disregarding somebody's opinion because of spelling, because I can't do that. I'll go fucking. What do you fucking look at?
Do you think it's relevant if someone gets it wrong, if you know what it is that they're trying to say? And if you know what it is that they're trying to say, why are you pulling them up on it? I saw this tweet recently, and I'm a bit of a stickler for like grammar for there, and they are. Just because I don't know, it's not just because I know, it's just because it does change the structure of the written sentence.
Would have.
In fact, do you know what, Kim, what really
Would have.
fucks me off about language, about the way that some folks speak? There was someone in Morrison's, funnily enough, earlier, who said definitely. That gets on my fucking tits.
Definitely, that's the Ouija version, isn't it?
Definitely, like that's not even how it's spelled. It's definitely.
Yep. Aye. Phones are the worst thing that's happened to grammar, though, because I put a message earlier on and typed it out. It was get first person they met off the plane in Birmingham was what I put. Hit send, and the phone changes it to OF.
Aye.
I go, well, I didn't even type that. It wasn't even my fucking mistake. And then you feel you have to go and correct it to show that I've got that wrong before somebody comes in and goes off.
It's mental. If you try and type quick on a phone, it just fucks it up.
Aye, there has a lot to blame for it. And obviously it fixes stuff as well. There are benefits because there are times, Ken, where it will spell out, like, fix a word that you've maybe mistyped. But I hate it when I know what I wanted to type. Actually, last week with the podcast title for Monday, which had Bobbies, the amount of times either the MacBook or my phone tried to change it to Babies was unreal. And I'd have to go and because it doesn't do it right away as soon as you type it. It's like it works out what you're trying to say in the sentence and then goes back and changes it. So you have to catch it, it's done it, and go back and delete it. But even then, even after you've changed it, it will sometimes change it on the back of you as well. Fucking annoying. I don't know how to turn that setting off. Anyway, if anybody's done a graffiti baby and want a podcast to be gives a shout, I'll be able to do the title for you, no bother. 150k on Hanlon Hill said, folk dumping stuff in my bin, folk greeting when I put stuff in their bins. There's the thing, like wheelie bin etiquette. Do you use neighbours' wheelie bins, or have you accepted neighbours' rubbish into your wheelie bin?
I was saying,
used it.
Sorry, Colin, go on.
Oh, I done it this week. Just sneaked out and fired it in because it was out in the street. They're done with it as far as I'm concerned. So
aye,
I've got a bit extra here that doesn't fit in mine. So there you are. Have it.
I was going to say that I was saying to Leon a couple of days ago that I'm pretty sure my next door neighbour got a Ring doorbell purely to catch out the person that was putting the poo bags in his bin, and it was me. And as soon as I realised, I'm positive that I recognised that he had the Ring doorbell. He didn't have it on Monday, but he did have it on the Tuesday, and I thought, well, I better not put the poo bag in there, so I just went round to mine. But I use that boy's bin all the time. And it's that same idea of if it's out on the curb, it's fair game. And he's just one boy that lives in the house by himself. Like, he doesn't go through rubbish. Like, I've got fucking about 1,000 nappies a week coming out of this house. I need an extra bit of space. I actually spoke to the council about it and asked for. It's utterly bizarre. I spoke to the council and asked them if I could get a bigger bin. If not a bigger bin, can I get an additional one? I said, they've got a newborn, we're going through more waste than we normally would. Help us out. And the boy phoned up and said, how many folk have you got in your house? I said, it's just me, the wife, the bairn, and the dog. And he said, no, you didn't qualify for a bigger bin or an additional bin. You need like 6 folk in your house or something. I'm like, fuck me, like, I'm not going to have that many bairns. And he said, what I can do for you though, is I can give you an additional blue bin and you can use that as an overflow. I was like, how the fuck does that solve the problem? I'm just going to be fucking storing waste for another fortnight until you come and put the grey bin out again. And the punchline is, I've never even got the fucking blue bin that I asked for either. Just
we
left
didn't
me hanging.
qualify either. Our bin takes 3 black bags, right? And we're like a house of 4 is now, eh? And it's like as soon as the bin men have been, it's ready to be filled up again. So we always have to just take bags down to the tip.
Do you squish? Do you get like one bag and squish the other ones down?
Tell you what, I wish I had. You used to have like a proper, like a Star Wars style trash compactor. That would be amazing. But it's like a kind of whole room that does it. But when I worked at McDonald's, there was a compactor up the back that it had like loads of warnings on it. Like it looked dangerous as anything.
Oh, was it the baler? Was it the thing that like compressed all the cardboard in it?
I pretty much it just squished out. I mean, you could fit loads of bags into it, and it would squish it all down like fuck. It was noises in, and you got that sounds like it's doing a great job. That I wouldn't mind one of them. I could definitely fit all the rubbish into a blue bin if I had a McDonald's trash compactor. If anybody's got one that they want to donate to the podcast,
have you got so much rubbish though? Like that? What? Do you recycle, or do you just bin it on the waste?
No, we recycle. So cardboard, glass, plastic cans, all the rest that goes recycling. But we just we just have loads and loads of rubbish. So, anyway, that's fun chatting it, right, Louise?
That's going to get the ratings right up.
Everybody loves a bit of bin chat.
How did we get there, Fate? Onions.
It was 150k in Hanlon Hill. Said he gets annoyed when folk moan about him putting stuff in their bins, but he doesn't like.
It's a bit like moaning about your parking space when it's no specified for you. You've got a space that you like to park in, but actually, does it really fucking matter?
Does it matter?
What's the thing about the doorbell, John? Just before we move on, like you were saying, you got a different doorbell. What's that? How does that make a difference for the bin?
It's a Ring doorbell, so it's got the wee camera on it. So he's no in, but I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that when the red lights are on, it's either active or it's on like recording everything.
All right.
And I'm pretty sure
triggered or something.
Does he not have to have a sign up for saying it's CCTV, like he's recording if he's got like if he's recording? Is there no a thing about that saying if you've got a CCTV camera, you need to say, I've got a fucking CCTV camera. You need to put a sign up for it. I'm
not 100% sure, but I'm keeping that card up my sleeve in case he ever decides that he's a dick.
Because he can't film you without your permission.
Well, I thought that you could film people, and well, I don't know. I don't know if you can film people in public property.
Text at 80295 if you think you can make films of people.
I believe there's no law of trespass in Scotland. Like there's no, so you could stand in his garden and he's not got any right to film you.
I'm going to take a picture of his back garden and I'll show you. And you'll get a sense of what this boy is like.
Don't take legal advice for this podcast, by the way. This is I like this. Louise,
or any advice for that matter.
Or any advice. Folk to go to Tesco 2 days before Christmas wearing roller skates. It's a very specific one as well. I don't think I've seen anybody in Tesco 2 days before Christmas with roller skates on.
Just in buying their tampons, eh?
Are we thinking
like 1970s?
We thinking 1970s roller skates, or are we thinking like Heelys that the Bairns wear? Like neither is acceptable ever.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm taking roller skates because I think that's what they said.
Did you have roller skates when you were wee?
No.
Did you?
But listen, right, you're laughing at now. When I was really wee, so you're talking about primary 3, maybe primary 4, around about that age. I had Batman ones, right? That now you're sitting up, John. Eh? They had the Batman logo in the front, and they weren't like a boot. They fit over your shoes, so they had like a kind of extendable bit at the bottom, and a heel and a toe bit that clipped on over your shoes.
I think I've seen them.
Aye.
I think I don't know, not necessarily Batman ones, but I think I've definitely seen that contraption.
Aye. Obviously, when you go for these things, and it was Batman, so you think this is pretty cool. But then, as I got a bit older, I thought, okay, Batman never goes about roller skating, does he? So I felt a bit cheated.
No, he's got motorbikes and planes and stuff.
Aye.
Robin drives him a bit.
Mark McKenzie, don't know if it's just me, but we guys holding up signs for strips is annoying me. Also, people who ask for a minute's applause at games can GTF. My uncle's dog died 2 years ago today. Would be good to get a minute's applause in the 12th minute. Piss off. The wee signs, you see that kind of like Cristiano Ronaldo, can I have your shirt?
Oh, no, it's embarrassing, eh? But they started to now run on the pitch to get a strip. They done it. Was it the Dundee game before Christmas? And I think somebody else ran on at the Aberdeen game as well. It's like, you have to snap that out. Like, just tell them you're not getting the strip, pal.
I think that's what
otherwise it's going to be a race.
Because Hibs, they tweeted about it and said, "Oh, check this wee guy out," and made like a big deal about it. And I thought, fair enough, that's quite good. Wee laddie's got a strip, but it does definitely encourage other folk to do it. And then you do ask the question: is it really that bad a thing if they do?
Well, it is if 20 of them run on. So no, I'll get them on.
Well, so there was a thread about it on Hibs.net, and somebody said that at the rugby they encourage it. The players interact with the kids after the game. The kids go on and.
Well, that's fine, but they're not getting a strip though.
That's fair. So on for a selfie and a bit of interaction, but didn't expect to be going home with a 45-pound top.
Football fans are a different breed as well, aren't
they? We are. Stuart asks, have you bought your dog's Christmas presents? He says, I hope so. We got Bailey a big bed because he's outgrown his wee one, and that bed lasted until Christmas night where they chewed a big hole in it. And the reason he chewed a big hole in it was so he could hump the fuck out of it, because that's how he ruined his little bed as well. And he's like just turned 6 months, so he's due to get the dog snip. But now he humps everything.
Bailey's Bobby burst his bed. Is that what we're saying?
That's it. Aye. He's totally shameless with it as well. Like obviously dogs today think that this would be an embarrassing thing, but what he tends to do is he'll be sat, come and cuddle in with you. You can sit and pet him for a bit, and he's quite happy. And then he decides he's a bit bored with that, so he'll cover wee nibble at your hand, and then you move away, and then he gets a bit hyper, and then he runs, gets his bed, drags it out his crate, humps it, jumps up on the sofa, tries to get the back cushion to give that a hump, gets a toy, gives that a wee hump, and you're like, fucking hell. Then you have to take him outside to Camden.
Murphy was never a shagger of like beds and toys and stuff, but he did do what you described in terms of getting his bed and dragging it through the living room. And I can't remember the last time he's done it. He's definitely done it recently, but not with the frequency that he ever did before. So they definitely grew it.
Good. Is he had the old ball snip, the dog snip?
Aye. He got the balls off because, in fact, one of them, I think we left it quite late compared to other folk because we were waiting for one of his balls to drop, and we made the decision to get him snipped because we were never going to breed him, and because his other ball hadn't dropped, it was like an increased cancer risk. So he got the wee procedure to get it off, and it's never changed him. He's still daft.
I'm hoping it changes. I'm hoping Bailey stops humping it because we need to get him another bed. This one got totally ruined there. Pulled all the stuff into it, and like him, was a better dog bed to get than one of these ones. But it wasn't like a cheap bed either. It's like a total fucking waste of money. That can't take it back and say your bed was too erotic for my dog. Can I get a refund?
Here's a question. So Bailey's basically having a posh wank for a dog and shagging his bed. Would you, before you get him the snip, would you let him basically get his hole? Or would you get him the snip before he knows the pleasures of the flesh?
Would we have to take him out to a dog prostitute?
Well, I don't know how that kind of thing works, but this is what I thought about for Murphy. Like, I'm just going to get his balls off. Like, it seems a wee bit cruel before he's had the chance to lose his virginity, basically.
Oh, is your dog busy next Saturday night?
she's always busy.
Didn't hear here that night. Fair dues. All right, we'll move on. Ewan McAleese, did Alan McGregor evolve from pure anger? Yes. I think that's
or
what
is he
happened.
evolving to pure anger?
Oh, that's a good question.
Does Alan McGregor transcend pure anger?
Maybe. And also for you, and how did life evolve from non-living matter?
Yes.
15.
Was it? Was the question how does it?
How did life? So it must have been a happy accident, isn't it? Like a something would have happened. Like it would have been a change that. Well, life would have come from, I suppose, single cell organisms that somehow multiplied, and I think again. I'll ask David Attenborough and report back at a later date. Belgium, Alaska.
I think about stuff like that too much, because then I start thinking about vastness of the universe and how insignificant we are in relation to it, and it just blows my mind.
If you start thinking about the vastness of the universe, change a word it and start thinking about the masters of the universe and He-Man, and then you'll be back on track, dumbed down to an appropriate level quite quickly.
Back down to Castle Grayskull right away.
I was reading about that film the other day because I was trying to find out the character, the boy, the boy in the film who I don't know, did he work in the music shop or something? I just wanted to find out what happened. Do you know when you go into a web browser these days and it's got like a whole ream of like shite news? Some of it's kind of current, some of it's just like showbiz shite. And it was one of them like, oh, you'll never guess what this boy for He-Man was doing. And I thought, oh, well, I'm quite interested to find out what that boy's up to now. So I googled it and I can't remember what the fuck it was he was in, but he had a decent career after He-Man.
Did you take a guess first though? Like they wanted you to, or did you just?
No, I just got right
straight
into
to the answer.
Phoning up the editor. Is he a postman? No, fuck's sake. Hang it up.
How did you get this number?
I'll try again tomorrow. That's have like a habit. I think 442 are bad for it. They'll put a tweet out saying, "Can you name all of the Premier League's top scorers?" And you just reply, "But no." Easy answer. Belgium Lascar hates in football discussions. He's a good player, but he's not at the level of your Ronaldos or your Messis. Are they plural? I can't mind if we've covered that one before. Have you seen? There's I think it's Scotstoun did or Burniston. What was the name of there's like a sketch show with the Scottish laddies, and it's like they're interviewing he's playing a manager. He's getting interviewed after the game. And he says, "Can your strikers no hitting the form for you?" He says, "It's not like we can afford the Wayne Rooney's of this world." And the interviewer says, "Well, not that Wayne Rooney, but must be able to afford some of them." But he goes, "What?" He says, "Well, but there must be loads of Wayne Rooney's out there if you asked her in."
That's funny, that clip. That's Burniston, I think, that, isn't it? It was the same as I can't remember if it was Burniston that 100%, but I can't find anywhere. Like there was somebody went in for he was getting promoted. They took him in at the boardroom and says, "Congratulations, you get promoted." He went, "Brilliant, I'll give 100%." And they went, "Does that mean you want to get 100% before? Like, does that mean you would get? I'll get 110%." Sorry, they said. "I'll get 110. Wait a minute, you get 110%. What were you giving me before? So was that 110%? So you gave me more than they were going to the fucking this whole loop on it. Like, can only do 100%, mate."
Aye. There was. Did you watch The Apprentice last week? The first one, because but Lassie said something like that when she was pitching, and it was like a marketing exec. You see, he just went, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And she said, "Oh, 200%." He's like, "No, you'll know." This goes to, why is there never any brandy trifle in Marks and Spencer's when I go? People that take up 2 spaces in the car park. And why Christmas is just a complete pain in the hoop. Brandy trifle and Marks. By the way, you've heard their conversations. This goes to, we know where Marks and Spencer's, mate. We can't help you with that one. Marks and Spencer's.
There must be a big run on brandy trifles in Marks and Spencer's. Like probably just out the door as soon as they come in.
Make it
in.
Fuck yeah. Have you made one before, Colin?
No, I didn't make a trifle. Wife makes a trifle at Christmas.
My mum makes an amazing trifle.
I watched that.
And she told my sister how to make it, my big sister. And so it was Christmas, we were in there and she made the trifle and she had put fucking about easy 4 or 5 times the amount of sherry in that you're supposed to, like fucking half a bottle or something. Unreal. You get it, like fucking hell. I reckon if you'd eaten enough of it, you would have been over the limit to drive. Easily. And the kids, kids weren't that keen on trifle, so they never bothered having any of it. But if the kids had it, the kids would have been steaming. Anyway, it was quite tasty, to be fair.
2 spaces in the car park, though. That was his other point. That's a good point. That's annoying. Just like, see if you're that car's that important to you, then you want to get a bump, go and just park further away and get a space to yourself where there's nobody either side of you, instead of taking 2 spaces down near the front, because that's where they always do it.
Aye. Folks should
I'm not
park right in close to them. That's what folks should do, is just park as close up to them as they possibly can.
Yeah.
The thing that annoys me about parking is, see, when I go into a car park, if I see a space, I'll just go in it. But there are people who are close to me, and I'm trying not to say this too loudly because she might be listening, but she insists on trying to find a car parking space as close to the door, like as close to the entrance as possible. I'm fucking nuts in.
I've started parking further away now, because the last car, if it was a lease and it was going back, and it had a big fucking dent in the door because somebody in Tesco just wiped it out. So I thought, no, I'm just going to park further away rather than try and get close for what, 2 minute extra walk.
That's it.
And you're on a health kick now as well, so imagine how those extra steps help.
I walked to Tesco's the other night. I just said Tesco's that time.
Tesco's?
I walked the other night along rather than drive as well. So
it's a decent trek to Tesco for your house as well. So that'll take about half an hour.
Well, it's about.
Or can you cut through?
It's about 45 minute walk or something. It was each way, an hour and a half. Aye.
Nice one. Right, Ewan McAleese doesn't like people who start sentences with "so." That's a very new thing, isn't it, or relatively new thing? Did we talk about that aside from Friends? Was it that?
No, that was. Oh my god! Oh my god! There was one last one I was done the day. There was 2 sentences in the same, 2 posts in the same thread within 2 posts each other, starting with a word, and I thought, why? I can't remember what one it was now. It's annoying because I'm not able to go and find it. But it was, can't mind. I'll come back to it. But it was like, you thought, well, that's weird to start a sentence with that. But for 2 people to do it within a couple of posts of each other as well, it was strange.
Aye.
I think it's all Americanisms in that, or is it just shorthand to social media? Do you think translating into?
I don't know. It must have come from somewhere. Maybe like football pundits or something like that. Do you know, like it'll be on something that folk have picked up that's the way to answer questions. I'm sure we do it from time to time.
I definitely did it in Monday night's podcast, and I hated myself as soon as I said it because I try and avoid stuff like that. I remember years ago I was working on a project at work, and the project manager started every sentence, and I think he tried to start every sentence with "so" to try and project some sort of gravitas, like some sort of importance as to what it was that he was saying. Whereas, actually, no, like, you're my boss basically, so you have my attention. You didn't need to get it any more. You already have it.
Aye.
So it's a wee bit annoying. And I think the more you're around people that do it, the more you start picking up on it yourself, and you start using it.
The next one we've got is Ewan McAleese. Shops in London which only supermarkets call themselves supermarkets. Why? They do. I did kind of last time I was in London, but there was definitely like wee shops that are labelled supermarkets, but they're nowhere near the scale of your Tesco's, your Aldi's.
Do you mean like a wee Tesco Express or something, calling itself a supermarket?
No,
like
just like a grocer's. Do you know?
Like a mini mart.
Mm-hmm. Mini mart is probably more accurate. They should be called that. But maybe they just think they're really good. Maybe they're not talking about size. Maybe they're.
We're a supermarket as opposed to a supermarket.
Yeah. Ewan, if you put Santa in a glass of Coke, how long would it take him to dissolve?
We might forget this stage soon. We're still doing Christmas. Like,
I'll try to get through them quick, so we can get past it. Dave Graham, Robin Redbreast.
That's right, it'll be September, we'll begin at the Easter question.
Robin Redbreast, when they actually have orange plumage. Andy, would life not be miles better if the wee snacky appetizers that you get at Christmas were available all year? There is something to be said for having Christmas food available all year, I think. Well,
it's Christmas food, but it's not really Christmassy something. I mean, obviously the Kilty sausages and that, they only really come out at Christmas, but you get some of the things he's talking about. There's probably like the wee spring rolls, and can they get the wee chicken, breaded chicken,
Party food stuff.
party
Aye.
food stuff. You should really get that a year round. Why no?
But you do, it's like after eight. Say like so many folk buy after eights, and then like they're not a summer thing. You get them for Christmas and chocolate oranges and things like that.
You'll get that party food around about, is it September, October, November when the World Cup's on? That's when stuff like that comes out again. It's when there's like, or
You
during
get
the
it all
summer.
year round. It's in Tesco all year round.
Mm.
If you came out to look for it, which I do. If anybody wants tips, just text it 80295. Mel Clement's gripe is that people who park in my space at my house, even though it's a free for all.
John just mentioned that one.
Yeah,
Aye.
I think we've covered that one.
It's been a wee bit a couple of days because the boy next door's had someone in doing some sort of work on his house, and he's parked in the wife's space. So she's had to park 5 feet away. No, 10 feet away. 10 feet away.
Region.
The one that annoys me more is I didn't get it at the moment, but the happens down at the in-laws' house. There's space for 2 cars outside the house, right? So it's got the wee dipped curb, and you can drive up and pull up, and there's space for 2 cars, big cars, but they'll park in the middle. So it's like just me the day, you know what I mean? And you're, why are you fucking doing that? It's clearly fucking enough for 2 spaces. Just pull another yard forward, and I can get behind you.
Aye,
And
that's
they deliberately,
annoying,
it's like they
isn't it?
deliberately say you're no fucking parking here the day,
Aye.
mate.
Just park behind them anyway.
Mm.
Mel Clemens again. Why do cats insist on allowing a Christmas tree or clothes horse to stand for milliseconds before rugby tackling it to the ground, and repeating this feat over and over, knowing the results means to scurry off with a big bushy tail, thinking, "What the fuck?" Right, do your Christmas
Fucking
trees
stupid,
survive for the dog? Cats are brutal for it. Cats go climbing up Christmas trees and topple them and everything.
Mad.
Aye.
The dog was absolutely fine with the Christmas tree in our house, but I think it was either this year or last year when the dog was round at one of the wife's friend's house. He took a piss on their Christmas tree.
Wait, how embarrassed were you by that? Like, how did you react?
I was just absolutely fine. I was like, I just thought it was a tree. Like I don't know if it's a male dog thing, but he's got this. I wouldn't call it a weird habit, but see if I'm taking him out on a big walk, he doesn't go in the lead unless we're going close to the road. He's usually off. He's quite happy. He's toddling along. His tail's up. It's wagging, and he's usually got a ball as well because we're away for a ball chuck and a big walk. But if we're taking at least part of that same route that we would take towards the big walk, I would have him on the lead. I swear to God, every 3 to 5 steps, I'm having to stop because he's sniffing a bit of grass, a lamppost, a tree, something on the ground. It's a pain in the fucking arse. But I've seen him as well. If he sees another dog pee on a lamppost, he'll just run up behind them and pee on it as well. It's like, I have to claim that. I have to claim that. It's like a wee, it's like an insatiable desire within him. He has to mark his territory.
Right.
So I know I was pretty proud of him.
Aye, good. But the dog ate the plug off the lights of the Christmas tree. First day it was up. It's what happened. It was the second day, so it had to ruin it. We blocked it off to kind of limit how much access he had to it. And then when I went to bed, you obviously unplug your Christmas tree lights because when you're a bairn, there was all the sorts of warning films and that warning adverts about your Christmas tree lights going on fire. So unplugged them. And in the morning, I'd taken him out of his bed and I brought a cup of tea up the stairs. And by the time I got back down the stairs, the plug was on the sofa, off the cable. He chewed it off the cable and was crunching down on the actual plug on the sofa. I said, I had no idea how he fucking got it. I was like, how have you done it? And how have you managed to chew off a cable already? Lucky it wasn't plugged in because he would have.
And they got a fright.
Electrocuted this high, but that Christmas tree's in the bin now. It had built-in lights, so it's no use. So when you get another one next year, we're getting.
I tell you that when we got Murph, he chewed quite a few things when he was going through his teething spell, and one of the things that he chewed was the spindles and the banister on the stair.
We've got that now. That's happening in my house now. Yep.
When we let him get through his teething spell plus a couple of months to make sure he got out of his system, and we got a joiner in to put in new spindles all the way up the stair, and he chewed them.
Yes.
Fucking chewed it. He did it once, and he never did it again. And I think it was just like, oh, aye, fresh wood. I'll have a wee nibble like that. See what's going on. Fucking wee dick.
Why'd you bother if? Portrush Punk, favourite weird food combinations. At this time of year, it's Christmas cake with a slice of cheddar cheese. You'll thank me later. Any weird? Well, John, you've had some crackers, but not literally like cheese and crackers, but some cracking combinations.
I think
Yeah, Christmas specific
just
one.
launched on there.
But we weren't doing this Christmas. Say, like, is this because we cancelled one, didn't we, before Christmas? This is when
It's because I had
would have been
COVID.
ideal.
So I couldn't
cool,
eat combinations of anything at Christmas.
Aye,
You
wouldn't
taste
have
it, so
tasted
you could have just given me in and
My sister
could
used to
still see
swear by cold potato croquettes and tomato sauce.
oh no, I don't even
You
know
eat
that
stuffing
I'm a bigger
cold?
fan of.
You're stuffing. I eat that cold. Can eat that cold
Do you?
once it's cooked, obviously. Cooked and cooled down. Christmas cake and cheese. I've never even thought of that. Like, I can't see how
I
that.
get it. I get the fruit, the sweet and the saltiness of the two together. I think it would work brilliantly.
Work.
Yeah.
Right, this one's from Matt Reed. Discuss the following statement. You never stop clapping your hands. You just leave a very long gap between your last clap and your next. Is that actual factual?
You could spin it that way, yeah.
I think it's because when you're clapping, it's a very like your hands only do that action, don't they? It's not like if you're clapping, even like a slow clap, you're not going, go to my pockets and check the time or far about my phone.
Mm.
If you were just leaving a big gap between a clap, you would just be stood like that. Like that.
Yeah.
So we're going to say it's not actual factual, or I'm going to say it's not actual factual, but feel free to disagree with me.
No, I think you make a good point.
There's a point where you start. I think that's maybe what you were saying, Matty, that you start engaging in a clap. You know
It's
what I mean?
a conscious movement. It's you know that's what you're doing. Whereas if you were to go away for 2 days or a week in between minute silences or minute applauses, even, then you're doing other stuff with your hands. You're not thinking about it. So he's right. Matthew's right.
Have you ever been weird in the process of clapping and thought this is quite a weird thing to do?
I have. Like,
is it a wee bit like when you say a word too many times and it suddenly starts sounding weird in your mouth?
Aye, but I've been like kind of clapping and obviously can you get the noise like, fuck, am I doing this?
Clapping for a minute is fucking weird. Like, I'm really sorry. I know.
Who's decided that this is like the way to show appreciation? Just wrap your hands together and make a wee noise.
You know how we need to end the show tonight, don't you? We need to clap.
A wave or a clap.
Just getting calling the heads up because he never picked up on it last time.
I was too late.
I've been doing it at all my meetings at work this week. All of them. Right, Willie says, how did Chesney Hawks stay number one for 5 weeks? Was everyone out of their nut at that time and let that slide? Chesney Hawks' number one song was called
The One and Only.
I am the one and only. I reckon if he was the one and only Chesney Hawks, it's not like your Wayne Rooney's, but it might be quite a common name, eh? Your Chesney Hawks is in the world.
Chesney Hawks. I know. When was that? Late 80s?
Late 80s, early 90s would be around about that time. Oh, are you looking it up, John?
I'm trying to find what was
what songs it kept off number one, eh? Like for that to be at number one for 5 weeks.
1991.
Because there used to be competition in the charts. Like now it's just Ed Sheeran at number 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 9, and then like an Elton John or Dua Lipa or something will be in there as well. But like in the old days, there was competition for number one position.
I can tell you who's number one now. Like,
it'll be Ed Sheeran
or
Adele.
Who's been number one for however long. You'd sometimes get songs that would be number one for like 5 weeks. Is quite minimal. Mind Bryan Adams with the Robin Hood one, and Wet 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 were at number one for the best part of the year, I think, weren't they?
Oh, it was all summer, I think.
By the way,
17 weeks.
I'm just looking at who was number 2 and number 3, like working my way backwards through the charts when Chesney Hawks was number 1. At number 2, James, Sit Down. The Waterboys, The Hole of the Moon, number 3. Madonna, Rescue Me, number 4. Rod Stewart, Rhythm of My Heart, and number 5. The Wonder
That's what I
Stuff,
mean. It used to be.
The Size
Was
of a
that
Cow, was number
Aye.
6.
The size
That's
of it was
the
a
done
good
with
song.
Vic Reeves.
Aye.
They never done that one with Vic Reeves, but they done Dizzy with Vic Reeves,
Dizzy.
didn't
He sang it on Jules Holland at
Aye.
the year.
he? He was trying to take it serious though. He was trying to do
Aye.
it like a singer rather than.
Aye.
You should have done it to the pub singer. Kevin used to do that.
Aye, that would be the best.
That was brilliant. I love the pub singer thing.
There was one, was it Jarvis Cocker guessed it? And they were fucking delighted. Bob Mortimer was like, yes, yes. Junior gets annoyed at
That was number 1 for 5 weeks, so I'm chatting over. I'm going on delay or something, but 5 weeks at number 1 for that song. Like when you see that's the other songs that were in the charts at the time.
Aye.
Like, how the fuck? Mental.
It was like Vienna. Do you know was it Ultravox that sung Vienna?
Yeah.
Which is like a classic song. That was number 2, and the song that kept it off number 1 was it Joe Dolce? Shut Up in Your Face.
Mm-hmm.
And you imagine was it Midsure that? Oh, aye, Midsure. Was it from Ultravox? Imagine writing a song like Vienna, right, which is a good song. Let's face it. And you think that's fucking number 1 written all over it. You're like, they get it out, and then it's like a comedy novelty song. Fucking beats you for number 1. You
But
would
that's
live
what
it, eh?
Was it no? Mr. Blobby got to number 1 one Christmas. The Christmas number 1.
Aye, Mr. Bobby, Christmas number 1.
Take
Bobby
that.
Builder as well, I think.
Aye. So, proper songs, and you get fucking Mr. Blobby coming out with a tune that goes straight in.
You never hear Mr. Blobby at Christmas now either.
Nah, no Edmonds isn't on the telly anymore. It's his
You know,
invention,
love
isn't
it.
it?
I thought he'd been,
You know,
maybe been banned
somebody,
like
No,
Gary
no,
Glitter.
no, yeah.
I'm sure he owed somebody loads of money and he just fled the country.
Oh, was it? He was in a legal
Allegedly.
battle with Lloyd's, I think.
Aye, but anyway, I did kind of story with Noel Edmonds. So again, that's no actual factual. That could be complete bullshit.
I tell you what is a story about Noel Edmonds though. That isn't a legal issue. That he was, I think he lived in Bristol, and he was pissed off with all the roadworks and all the traffic congestion. So he just bought a taxi or a bus and started driving down the bus lanes. He just bought that's how he travelled.
Did we talk about that before? Where I can't remember if this is a conversation I had with friends or one that we've had on the podcast. On the Forth Road Bridge, you can go over on taxis or buses, and I think it was with my mates. We said if we chipped in for a taxi for car sharing at work to save the traffic, because you could go Forth Road Bridge and then in the bus lane all the way down pretty much to Crammon, and it'd probably be worth it.
You put the yellow light on, or would you turn it on?
No, light off. You'd have to get the license and everything to do it, obviously. But I'm all in favour of Noel Edmonds' approach to that. By the way, that's quality. I think more folks should be thinking like that, or get buses, which is probably the more environmental friendly thing to be saying.
Everyone buy your own bus.
buy your own bus. Big diesel effort. Matt, people who eat drink loudly. Yep, we've spoken that at length. How many Sean Maloney's to make a Matt Macy? Asks William Todd. Minimum 4, I think.
What was the question there? Sorry.
How many Sean Maloney's to make a Matt Macy?
1.5, I think.
1.5. I'm going with 4, but you're probably closer to the mark. To be fair, I'm probably either underestimating
1.5 sounds
how
about
small
right.
it is or
'Cause there's
how-
no way. It couldn't be 2.5 because that would mean that.
He's like less than 3 foot tall.
Aye, less than 3 foot tall.
Aye.
But I mean, he is quite wee.
Yes. Nick's pet peeve.
Do you think
every
he shops in the
football
kids section?
No. Petite.
No.
You seen his jacket at Easter Road came when he's had his first game. That wasn't a kid's jacket. That was.
No, that was his dad.
Right, Nick said pet peeve. Every football pundit starting a piece of analysis with "when you talk about." Great summer tits. And Ladij, festive bangers question: if you're balls deep in a sheep and a booster is balls deep in you, do you move forward or backwards first? What's a booster?
Be a jab, is it? The COVID jab.
Oh, booster.
How would that get balls deep in you? think we
sure.
need clarification on this question.
Aye, can we send it in?
Are boosters male? Is it what's saying? It'd have to
Say
be
that again,
male if
John?
it was boys. Are boosters
Aye.
male? Or did I just assume their gender?
I reckon what's happening with that question. We're going to move on because there's a little bit of blood coming out of my ear. Porter's Prunk, one for next Shortbangers. Leicester City have a player called Dewsbury Hall. What building would you like to see playing for Hibs? I'd go for Scorpios, lots of dribbling before shooting in the box.
So do you want a striker called Scorpio Leisure? Or
Aye.
a player called Scorpio Leisure?
Well, we talked about London Dykes, wasn't it? That place, so it's a building. London Dykes sounds like a place, doesn't it?
London Dykes Road.
Aye. What building would you want?
Go for one of the big ones in London. Can they
Right.
stick them up front?
The Shard.
Big
Like,
key.
give full nicknames.
The Shard playing off the Gherkin.
You talk about your Shards and your Gherkins.
Here's a new signer, Canary Wharf. Big tall boy. I think puts Matt Macy to shame. Guinness 2022. Are you still thinking about getting an answer for that one? I thought that was one of these ones that would spend too long trying to think of an answer that the momentum would go, which is why I was moving us on.
Alright, okay, move on.
Guinness 2022. Shortbangers. I signed up for Twitter as you forget my emails. Yep. Question: Did Matty, Colin, or John make any New Year's resolutions?
Yep.
Did you say yes, or what was your resolution?
I said
Colin,
yes.
do you want to share it?
I'm trying to get fit again, or fitter, if I was fit in the first place. So I'm trying to get fitter again. So that's one. Aye, that's the main one.
What about you, John?
Nothing specific, because I've already gone through like a wee bit of sort of self-improvement with losing weight and going to college and that. So, like I'm just one man. Like there's only so many ways I can. I'm fucking my new dad as well. So, nah, never really made any.
Rest. Just got to calm down this year a bit.
Just rest.
Just rest.
Try and get to bed at a reasonable hour. Drink plenty of water.
I wanted to do more reading and watch less shite on like my phone. So try to kind of look at things like TED Talks, watch more documentaries, and do more reading. That was kind of my.
I done that last year, the reading one. Set myself a target how many books I wanted to read in that.
I remember you talking about that. How many did you get through in the end?
I was one short of my target, unfortunately, but aye.
What was your target?
10. Done 9.
still reasonable.
Aye, but I was getting that. So last year I got a Christmas present. I got a subscription to the Private Eye magazine, and it came in every fortnight. So that took up that much of my time. I couldn't get round to a book because you'd read that, and then the next one was due almost. So I couldn't, So I've not got that this year.
You'd done more reading than you had the year before, presumably.
Aye.
So
well, that on top of the 9 books. Aye.
What documentaries are you watching, Matty?
Well, we're watching the Times Square Killer. Is the one that we're watching now. Spoiler: he doesn't kill the square. So I was fucking livid about that. Right enough, the square's still there to this day and quite alive as well. But we watched one before that called Night Stalker.
Was that about Richard Ramirez?
Yeah.
No.
It was quite. He was a fucked up individual.
He was a bad guy.
What got me about that is he got sentenced to death after he was caught, and then he died like 20 years later. He died of cancer. What was the fucking point in giving him a death penalty if you just go
death row for years? But that's what happens.
Sit there for 20 years until you die something else anyway.
There's a couple of boys.
I'm not a fan of the death sentence anyway, but I think if you're going to have it, surely that's the whole point.
There's a couple of boys in America that now I was reading about this morning that have requested death by firing squad as a means of prolonging their life, basically. Because I think in whichever state it is that they're in, there's a legal challenge over the use of lethal injection and whether it's constitutional.
Yes.
No.
Right, Ray asked, see tray bakes, you know how when it comes out in the oven in one big piece, We'll see if you didn't cut it into wee pieces. Would it be fair to assume that it's just one portion? Asking for a friend that's now borderline type 2 diabetic. What do you reckon?
I think you could get away with calling it one piece.
We've got one piece, but no one
It'd be
portion. It's...
No, it's never one portion.
Right. Speaking of portions, do you ever get the wee mini cereals that kind of multi-pack that'll have like cornflakes, Rice Krispies, Frosties, and that in it?
I know what you mean. I don't often get them, but I know what you mean. Aye.
When you get them and you tip them into your bowl, there's fuck all there, right? And you go, oh. So you would generally go and get like another 2 and fill it in to get like a proper portion. But it tells you how many portions are in the box. When you get like an actual full size box, that's the portion size measured out.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, how the fuck's having that? That couldn't sustain you for a whole morning, like a wee shitey bowl of breakfast like that. You need. You have a cereal bowl, don't you, that you can get loads in, and then that fills you up for that. I mean, I'm a fat bastard now, so.
But that's the thing, we
explains
eat
it.
too much, don't we? That's the whole thing, isn't it? Because you can buy the plates with that are thirded, like with the veg, potatoes and meat, and the meat's like a tiny wee bit, and the veg is over half it, isn't it?
It's interesting that you didn't consider potato a vegetable, Colin.
No, but is that not what they do? Is that not the split though?
Aye, because
I don't know.
Or is it
Is
carbs?
like
If you say carbs,
you
then
mean
I
like
don't
your
know.
greens?
Potatoes are the carbs. It's separated for the veg. T.G. Willis. Do you want me to say that different, John?
Not different.
Or was that all right?
T.G. Willis.
T.G. Willis. How come no matter what, there's always a decoration or 2 that escapes getting put back in the attic?
Aye, every year we were all right this year because I'm aware of that. Like,
I missed the ones in the living room window.
Did you?
Aye. John?
How many decorations have you guys got? Like, what's your sort of? Do you have like a Christmas theme? Do you have?
We
is there,
just
like,
put them in the
loads of
living room
stuff throughout
window.
the house?
Just in the living room window.
But you mean like your tree and all your decorations go in the living room window?
Aye. No, we have them all around the house. That was just because that was the ones that I missed.
Right.
So, like, that was the only ones that we had. We've got like a big bag full of them that goes up in the attic. Fewer bags than we've not got a Christmas tree to break up and put in there as well. But
Here, how shite a job is it putting stuff back up in the attic?
I fucking hate it. I hate it, but I hate my attic anyway. It's like we've had it floored and there's like one of the pulled down ladders and everything for it, but it's fucking rammed full of stuff because we just hoard stuff for some reason. And so when you go up, it's just a fucking nightmare, dusty, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Does anybody want a loft? I'll sell you my loft. If anybody's interested in just having a loft, I can how we work out the logistics, but I'm open to offers.
A loft manager, just recruit a loft manager.
A loft
Just pay him
manager,
a wage.
just recruit one.
Every Christmas, every Halloween, he's just like, all right, you still there? Right, go and passes the stuff to mate.
Pass that stuff to get a wipe first, would you? Right. Conscious of time, we've been at this for fucking ages, right? We've still got, actually, we're not got that many left to go through. We're into January now. Stephen Bell, if you can get away with tearing down a statue because the statue commemorates was a bit of a pro-slavery arse, can I go and defecate on Tynecastle purely because Hearts are a minging wee football club and I really don't like them? Yes, is what I would say to that. Although again, don't take that as legal advice.
He might not get away with it. He can do it, but I don't know if he'll get away with it in the same way because we've not proven any pro-slavery stuff or anything yet, have we, on them?
I think there's no paying them.
If anything, they're the opposite of slavery. Oh well, I was going to say they paid well over the odds. They paid well over the odds, though, didn't they? Never paid them for a while, but actually, if you look at the time when they were getting paid, they were paying fucking thousands for.
Aye, if you aggregated that out, they definitely got over their contract. They definitely got more than minimum wage, didn't they? Even the living wage, they would have got more than that. So, I know somebody who claims to have done it after an event at Tynecastle that they'd gone out onto the pitch and chat. But that could be plain bullshit, though, couldn't it? Because I'm sure loads of folk would love to claim that kind of thing.
You'd have to have taken a photo of it if you don't.
With that day's newspaper to avoid Photoshop.
Or the photo stamp should say when you took the photo. If it was
but if you're going for a shit, you'd have a paper right anyway. Yeah?
Right.
Might as well make a use of it.
Something might be rushed, way.
William said, does anyone else have that occasional slight sick in their own mouth moment when it tastes like black cherry yogurt? I don't care if it tastes like black.
When you're
get
sick, it tastes like black cherry.
A bit of sick in your mouth, or like acid reflux, I suppose that is. I wish it tasted like I like cherry yogurt. If it tasted like that, I'd probably be all right. But I get like it's burning. It's fucking horrible.
Aye.
I would say no to that one.
Aye. He's maybe eating too much black cherry yogurt.
Yeah. Maybe go to the doctor about that. That sounds serious.
Lay off the black cherries. Ron Burgundy says he's been posted missing with his question for Shortbangers. Did Brian used to look like Pat Sharp from Funhouse when he was young?
That was Keith Jackson. He used to look like
Keith Jackson. Still does. Just if Keith Jackson shaved his head. I'm going to say yes. It was Brian. If you're listening, I think you were undoubtedly like Pat Sharp when you were wee. Councillor Tom McQueen says, Longbangers, they might be losing Suitor down Gorg Way, but they seem to have gained a new radio station, or have they? And this relates to a new Scottish radio station broadcasting content by, for and about the country's African and Caribbean communities, and it's called Jambo Radio. So Jambo is used as a greeting in
Swahili, isn't it?
Africa, yes. I'm not exactly sure which specific part. They also call somebody Dundee United if they're an idiot. And
I read that article.
Africa as well.
Nutmeg,
from
Nutmeg magazine.
I was for a tour that they did in, was it Nigeria?
Aye, and they were I think they were advertised as like a world class kind of bunch of superstars, but they turned up and they were hopeless. And
couldn't be asked.
The label stuck. You're a Dundee United means you're an idiot. TG Willis, why is the BBC Sport match of the day are happy to promote NFL, cricket, F1, etc., even Nigeria against Egypt, but they never ever mention when Scottish games are going to be on the BBC? That's a fair shout.
There is no Scottish games on the BBC, is it? Is that not? Or they mean the Scotland national team, maybe?
No, just like...
sports scene. Yeah, sports scene. Fair enough. Yeah, I thought you meant like a live match or something, but yeah. No, they never seem to say. I never really watched matches doing that anymore, though.
You know,
I don't remember them doing that.
Sometimes sports scenes on right after it, I think, or it used to be
on a Sunday night.
Say for viewers in Scotland, stay tuned because you'll have some decent football to watch.
But we punt your schedule about. Do we not get it on before match of the day? And then
sometimes.
Do you remember like sports scene in the old days when you would watch the Scottish games and then they would fire on it end, like on sports scene?
They fire what on it?
Used to get they put an English game on for 5 minutes. They would have like one clip for match of the day, one match. They would have whatever game they had.
Rings a bell.
I can't remember.
But never used to go all the games on a Saturday night. You would get like the big game, whatever it was, like Hibs Aberdeen or something, and then they would maybe have another game, a wee one, and they wouldn't show as much of that. And then they would say, "Oh, in England today, Man United played Aston Villa," and they would stick 5 minutes of that one.
Stick that on as well.
Sure they did.
I can't remember
I'm imagining that. I'm sure they did.
I can't remember them doing it, but somebody can let us know. Tweet in. Next one for TG Willis. If folk who do eye tests are called opticians, are folk who test your hearing called auditions?
Yeah.
George, you need me to repeat that one?
Pardon?
For Fattest Prickus, is rubbing your cock a euphemism?
For what?
You can imagine. Fattest Prickus had put a top twips on Twitter, which is like your Viz top tips. Convince people you're a painter and decorator by rubbing your cock on a wall.
Oh.
And is rubbing your cock an euphemism?
Did you know you used to rub it on the curtain before you left?
chew a hole in the bed first. Stuart says a Shortbangers question from this week's from this week's Longbangers. Curvy Nisbet made a suggestion about a mobile Hibs shop. Would it play chimes when it arrived?
Like the ice cream van.
Aye, like an ice cream van. And if so, John, what chimes would it play?
it would just be
I've set. I don't know if you can still do this on your iPhone, but when you have your phone on silent, we're talking about high ringtones, and like I've always got my phone on silent. But if I get a text through, it vibrates to that pattern.
No danger.
Aye, you can set it. You could like customize. I don't know if you can still do it, but customize the pattern. So that's what mine does.
I reckon the chimes could be Land of Hope and Glory though, because that goes with the song, doesn't it? And that's the tune for the We Hate Glasgow Rangers. So
Aye,
so Land of Hope and Glory when the wee van comes into the tracksuits.
it would have to, depending on who's it was going near. You'd have some areas would be going and just go fucking boo.
Do you think if it was like a wee mobile van that would start selling drugs in that, like the scheme vans apparently allegedly did?
You'd like to hope so.
Single cigarettes.
Can I get the home top or a quarter of soap bar, please? Fattest Prick has said if you build a bookshelf behind a toilet, do any books that make it onto the shelf then become shit-richer?
I think this is what Colin was talking about earlier. That's fucking priceless. I think what's your thesaurus? Is it the one that you've got in your toilet? Your Profanosaurus. Aye. That's
Melly's thing.
Aye, that's shit-richer.
Shit-richer, definitely.
Craig Monroe said it would be on your poo shelf. Next question, TG Willis. In cricket, if the ball hits the stumps but doesn't make the bails fall off, is the batter still out?
No, they're not. Stumps have got to come off, I think.
I have to come off, yep. Actual factual.
You know, but I must be pretty rare in a event like. See if I was a cricketer and that happened, I think I'd just stand and look at it. I'd no stop looking at it. Like, how the fuck did that happen?
You'd have a good
laugh,
laugh.
I've seen
it
it
happen in
happen.
Ashes. Apparently, the last Ashes, I'm sure it did.
The one they're playing there now, like the last match.
Aye.
I didn't see that, but I have seen it before. The one I remember, somebody getting out for it was almost what you're saying there, John. But they saw the ball falling towards the stumps, and they could have lifted the bat up and just moved it again, but they went like that with their hand and punched it away. They went out, something like touched the ball or handled the ball or something like that. That was a way to get out, because you can touch the ball if it's on the ground and no moving, and the umpire says fine. But if you're actually actively doing it to stop it being a wicket, you can't do it.
But he could have used. Are you saying that he could have used his bat?
Aye.
And that would have been fine.
But he just panicked and went boom. And I think it was Graham Gooch or somebody like a famous English player got handled the ball. I think rings a bell, or touched the ball. But aye, that's so there is a rule in cricket.
Alan Dockett says, how long does temporary roadworks and lights last? 6 months, 1 year, or 18 months or more?
All of the above.
You're normally waiting at them for that long, eh? Like the temporary lights are fucking all of them take ages.
I was thinking
like four-way lights. You just go, oh fuck's sake, you may as well switch the fucking engine off.
I was thinking that this was similar to Matt Reed's question. Like, do you ever stop clapping, or is there like the roadworks? Do they ever end really, or is there just a gap between roadworks?
It comes down sort of mid-year, and then when they realise if they didn't spend their budget, they come back out in force again and just stick all the cones down, dig a hole and fuck off for days and just do nothing at it.
Do you
come back eventually?
Do you find that when you're driving along, like you see a pothole, or you're driving along and there's just like a really shitty road, and you think, Kim, I wouldn't be that bothered if they were to come and fix this, or I want them to come and fix this, but they never ever never seem to come and fix the thing that's the problem. They just find some random bit of road that they want to dig up and surface.
Just do it for the fun of it. Have you ever been sat at the temporary lights for so long that you wondered if they're broken?
Aye.
And then what did you do? Did you just go, I was going to go, or did you wait it out?
I have in the past. I've done both. If you're at the front, it's a funny one, because if you're at the front, everybody's kind of waiting on you. So normally, if somebody in front of me's went, I've went, and on occasion I've taken the chance myself at the front. But if because at the front, you're the one that's going to get the brunt of it. If somebody is coming the other way, aren't you?
That's always like that would be sod's law for me if I went. I can guaranteed, and it'd be a lorry or something, Ken, and folk would come behind me, so you'd be stuck.
You'd be stuck.
For God's sake. Aye.
The fucking Hibs Christmas truck coming into all the community.
Colin's the car behind me. Looking around. Colin, what the fuck? You need to reverse it off.
Just imagine the Hibs truck fucking barrel into you while it plays Land of Hope and Glory.
Mike said, would you overtake on the A1 on a blind right-hand bend because clearly the see next Tuesday and the Audi thought it was a good idea. Oh, how we laughed and shared a moment looking into each other's eyes before I decided to let him live.
Aye, it's mad. Some folk, eh? You think how much rush are you actually in?
A bad road, the A1 as well for it. Ken, what pissed me off? It's no for overtaking her. So actually, I dropped daughter's boyfriend off the other night in Kelty and coming off the slip to the motorway, and there's a Mercedes, came on the big ones, pulls up. So he's waiting to turn right into the slip, and I'm coming, so I've got right away, so I go in, and as I'm nearing the bit where you join the road, boy puts his foot down to overtake me. I'm like, we're about to go into the fucking motorway, mate. I have to get across there. Why are you choosing now to fucking overtake? I was like, a fucking arsehole. And then the other bit of road rage that I had, two bits, I gave somebody the finger for no indicating and they clocked me doing it, and then the boy got irate about it, so I was like, well, fucking, that's your own fault. But then last night we were taking Josh, and he was going to pick stuff up his pals. Like, do you know, so there's a leisure park at Dunfermline where it's got like a cinema, like a McDonald's and everything. And then if you come past that and turn left, you head down towards Amazon, so you get loads of truckers parking on the side of the road. So as you turn into that road, you really have to be in the right-hand lane, because if you know, you have to move in it because of the trucks that are parked. Red light, and there's a car in the wrong lane. So I sat back at the red light so that he could just move out and get out the wrong lane, right, helping him out. Light goes green. He starts driving off, still no looking to change lane. And then he indicates, I flash lights to say, "Can on you go." He goes in. No thank you, no we wave, no fucking hazards on, or fuck all. And I was like, I literally could not have helped that guy out any more, short of fucking getting out of my car and saying, by the way, mate, I've just sat back to let you out there. Do you want to just go? Fucking wound me right up. I was like, just fucking say thanks. But I recognise the Carlos, so if I'm in that situation, but again, I'm going to drive
just exactly
the same speed as he's going until he reaches the first truck.
Aye, that's what you is. Yeah,
sorry about that, mate. Aye. Anyway, road rage tales there. Fattest prick is an omelette just a pizza or calzone without the bread?
An omelette?
Wasn't there any tomato sauce in that either, is it?
Well, some folk put tomato sauce in their omelette, don't they? No,
aye, but it's not got like...
Well, it's got the top, isn't it? No, you have cheese and ham. Mushrooms.
But you didn't get egg.
You could have a farmhouse. Well, some pizzas have got egg on them now. Which, by the way, is a good addition to a
So he's saying the egg is different, is the replacement for the bread, and then all the toppings are the pizza bit, but it's not got the tomato base either, has it? It's missing that. Nah. And it could have cheese in it, obviously.
It's sort of is.
No. What if you fold your... I suppose if you fold the omelette over a wee bit, it's a bit like a calzone. Like if there's something inside it.
Well, that's what it means.
Aye.
Like if you fold it in half. Like you put your cheese nut in it, cheese and ham or something in it, fold it in half and let it all melt and stuff.
But
it does look a bit like
a... So what I mean is, taking what you said, Colin, about the egg replacing the bread of the calzone. So if you were to cook just a plain egg omelette and that was like your base, and you were to put something on top of your cooked omelette, then fold it over and then let it cook inside, then it would be more like a calzone. Mm-hmm. I think. But no, the answer's no.
I just deleted it by accident, deleted another one of Alex's questions there, which was something to do with a box not having a lid, so sorry about that, Alex. Ray said, what's your favourite puerile change the name of a car into a naughty word? For example, a Fiat Punto, a Skoda Labia, a Volvo. He said, I'd argue that even a Ford Escort has potential.
I wondered about that one. What would the Ford Escort be?
Well, like an Escort, Joe, like a hooker.
Oh, that'd be like a Ford Cougar.
Ford Cougar.
Cougar.
A Honda Jazzbag.
Honda.
I've not got
That's a
any, I
thing,
can't get any car makes. I'm getting all BMWs and that now, and they're all like just X4 and that, aren't they? And letters, Audi A3.
Audi's the same, man.
A Volkswagen
bloody hell.
Passat.
What was it? Was it Vauxhall had the Adam and the Dave? Like,
Did they?
one
Vauxhall
of them,
Dave.
I'm sure Vauxhall had the Adam, and I'm sure there was another car was the Dave. Volkswagen had an Up. There was just like, there was a wee period there where cars just had some really shit names.
There's still a Volkswagen Up. My mate got one last year.
It's like a smaller Polo, is that right?
It's like a tiny wee car, aye.
I would 100% buy a car called Dave. 100%, like that, without question. I would
Is that
go.
just in tribute to your gerbil?
The guinea pig.
Guinea pig, sorry.
I just like things to be called Dave. So,
What do you make of cars that folk put like eyelashes and other stuff on them? No bother you?
What about folk that name their car? They had folk that got a name.
We call it someone. I got Dave the Sixth. I think now that's my car. Dave the Sixth.
Is that like Dave Junior, 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 Junior?
So the first car I had obviously was Dave, then Dave the Second, and so on. I think it's Dave the Sixth.
Did you call the second one Dave Junior? And then Dave the Third? No.
The second one was actually Dave II.
That one just went in for life-saving surgery just before Christmas as well.
Aye,
Didn't it?
it did.
It's like
You got it
Trigger's
back?
broom.
I've got it back.
Did you get it
Here's
back?
Here's no working on it still. It needs to go back into the garage soon to get the heater done.
You got to go to a different garage this time.
No, because the guy was getting he says the part's dead expensive, dead hard to get, but he's got, he says, because of the age of your car, you better get in like a second-hand one. And he's got a boy who gets cars in, strips them, and sells him parts. He says, I'll get you one for a fraction of the price, and I've got one coming for you. So I kind of have to go to that one, otherwise I'm going to pay probably 4 or 5 times more than I have to for a car that I'm not going to keep for that much longer, hopefully.
So Colin, you never name your car. You've just got your car, and that's it.
Has yours got a name, John?
Aye.
What is it?
The one that I had previously, I recently got a new one. The one I had previously was Zeus, and this one I let the guy that I go to the gym with. He called it because it's white. They said, and his justification for it was it's white. You've got a daughter, so you're going to start watching stuff like Frozen. So therefore, it's Olaf.
Your mate named it Olaf.
Aye.
Gogs, the PT instructor called it Olaf.
Okay, Paul Mackay, what would you think would happen if a bird found feathers tickly? It'd be unfortunate for the bird, or do you think it would be a good thing for the bird? Do you think eventually it would get used to it, just embrace it, or do you think it would just kind of squawk itself to death?
Ken, what I always found a bit bizarre was the golfer Greg Norman. You heard him? I think he's
not personally, but yeah.
Aye, not personally, but you've heard him.
Yeah.
So he was, if I remember rightly, he was allergic to grass, and I always thought that was fucking outrageous. Like, you spend your life on grass, and that to me is like a bird being ticklish to feathers.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, do you know just what? I don't know what you do in that situation.
Can you be allergic to grass? Is that not just hay fever?
I don't know the specifics of it, but I know it does sound like hay fever.
Mel Clements, would you rather box in a fight with gloves in the wrong hands or play a game of football with boots on the wrong feet?
Big shakes will take ball, not punch.
I would go for football. I don't like getting hit. So,
Aye, same.
Aye. John?
Do you think you could make it work? Like football boots on the wrong feet. So obviously, like your football boots in the normal feet, they sort of like bend in the way.
He's been given a good bash, hasn't he?
But I wonder if it would be like, you know how you sometimes get right-footed wingers playing on the left wing and cutting in? Would they not have to cut in if they had boots on the opposite feet? Like, would everyone just be playing crosses with the outside of their foot?
And would you make your left-sided centre back? But if it was
they have to swap them around. All right, here's a wee twist. Have giraffes ever smelt a fart from William? So David Attenborough answered that earlier. Yes, they have. Mel Clements, you're presented with a broad plate of curry and rice. Your choice of utensils to eat it, and you can only choose one. Are a fork, a spoon, or a naan? What do you use?
I normally go fork. Well, you can only have one. I've normally have naan as well, but fork.
Here, hear me out. A naan calzone.
Yes, I'd be all aboard with that.
Just wrap that up.
Aye.
Hmm.
Yep.
I can actually picture Alex drooling over it, right.
I'm halfway there, to be fair. You and Macaleese, how big a curry is enough?
I find like I can eat, right, but I find when I get like a curry for the Indian, I never finish it. Like that's one meal I never ever seem to get to the end of. So whatever the size is out of the Indian is more than enough.
Do you get, see your curry though, do you get like the poppadom, the naan, the onion chutney, the curry, the rice?
I'll share a rice with my wife, get a naan, and she'll get a couple of poppadoms. I might have I'll maybe have one of them. Again, like she might get 3, and I'll take one of them. But no, I didn't get all the onion badges and all that. Nah, not just that.
I have a Derek Pecora and a medium curry. That's what I go for.
Derek Pecora.
Derek Pecora.
And a medium curry.
Liam Hay, what do transsexuals do with their billies? Whatever they want, I would imagine. That's probably tricky territory for a podcast to get into. You and Macaleese, if you could, would you kick Shakin' Stevens on the shins?
Why?
I would.
Why? Is there a thing? Am I missing something? Is it why shins?
Well, probably for the way that he dances about, eh?
Oh, because he doesn't. Yeah.
It's fucking too fun.
I've told you plenty of times. I told you the boy when I was in primary school that used to be a bit mental. Nowadays he would be diagnosed with something, but in the old days, in the 80s, he's just a bit fucking mental. So if you behave well at the end of the week, you used to get to do a show like to the rest of the class, and he used to get up and dance to Shaky Stevens for everybody. He used to do the Shaky Stevens dance, and we used to sit there and go, have to watch it. And then go home. Like, that's Friday afternoon, then see you later. But so you look back, you think, that's fucking nuts, eh? Like, that's mental that the teachers thought that was all right. Like, that was a treatment strategy. Just shaking us on Friday, will behave all right.
Do they have that on the denim on?
Well, I think it definitely had the jeans on because there was no uniform in that. I can't remember if it had the double denim. I can't remember that. I just remember it happening. And as I say, looking back now, you just think, that's fucking mental. Like,
Ewan also asked, would you rather lick a bee or get stung on the bossack?
I'll lick the bee.
I think I'd rather lick it.
Yep. Because the bee might not sting you. It might like it. You know? You never know. Like, what bees are into. I was driving to work one time, right? When I lived in Edinburgh and worked at the Gale, and I was coming along Broomhouse, stuck in traffic, had the window down. This is in Dave 1, by the way, right? Which I don't say what type of car it is because that's a security question sometimes, like a memorable answer. So folk who are fishing for data would find it. But sat in traffic and a wasp flew in the window and it landed on the seat between my legs and then crawled down so I couldn't see it. So it was literally right under my boss sack. And I was like, I can't move here because I'm in traffic. I can't get out of the car and go, fucking wasp. So I just had to wait it out. And after a short period of time, the wasp came out and flew away again. But that was a scary few moments, I've got to say.
Do you think it was put off by the smell?
Attracted to the smell.
Did they kind of like vinegar?
Like funny blue cheese.
Right, good. Aye, a memorable day for all the wrong reasons. 150k in Hannah Hill. What would be the ingredients of your masterpiece? Very good sandwich.
I remember years ago. I don't know if this would be my masterpiece, but I remember working it when I worked at Sight Hill. The Royal Bank of Scotland used to be at Sight Hill industrial estate, and used to do overtime most Saturday mornings, and there was a bacon roll van directly opposite the office, and they done a gutbuster roll, and it was like, it was only about £2 or £2.50. It'd probably be a lot more than that nowadays, but in the sort of late 90s, that's how much it was. And then obviously on it, there was one of these big massive baps, and on it you got everything. It was like a full fried breakfast on a roll for £2, £2.50. So
outstanding.
I don't know if that's what I would say I would make as my favourite sandwich, but it's a memorable roll.
I think breakfast items like a bacon and egg sandwich is fucking great, or sausages on like in a toasted sandwich.
Yeah.
Bro, bacon and brie and a toastie is good. It's like that.
Bacon and brie.
John, what are you thinking?
I really like a ploughman's sandwich. I like it because of the mixture of textures and flavours that are in there. Also, one of my favourite lunchtime sandwiches when I was out for lunch one day was a haggis, mozzarella and sweet chilli sauce panini. And it just sounded, everything on that, it just sounded like it didn't go together, and it really, really did. I still think about it to this day.
Or you could get a Christmas cake and cheddar sandwich as well. That would be another option there.
Okay, you and Macleese, would you willingly enter the tunnel of love? I would. There's nothing scary about that, is there?
Don't know what
Is that a euphemism as well?
Interpret any way you want, John. And he also asked if you could go back in time, what gig would you go to?
I'll tell you what one I wouldn't go to would be a Beatles gig. Have you ever seen footage of Beatles gigs in the old days?
Screaming.
Fucking hell. You just think, that's mental. It is a lot of women that are there, lassies that are there. But you just think, they couldn't hear what they were saying, like when they were on stage. It was just a wall of noise. Just annoying noise as well. No singing along or anything, just absolutely out their box with excitement. So I wouldn't want to go to one of them, as much as I would like to go up back in time to see the Beatles, so wouldn't I, when you hear the noise?
Aye.
Even that one they've done in America, the big one. I've seen footage of them doing in England, and you just think, that's mad. And then you see them doing, is it Shea Stadium or something they've done, the big one in America, and it's the same. You say, this is mental. Like, just listen to them. You don't even listen to them. So, not that one. Nebworth would be good. We done Loch Lomond the week before Nebworth, didn't we? But to actually go to the Nebworth was the big famous one. It wasn't that far away.
Was good,
I mean? Aye, Loch Lomond was good. But
I would quite like to have seen if you were at the gig where they got signed at King Tut's.
Yeah,
that would be a good one, an interesting one to go for.
Irvine, aye. And was it Irvine Beach? It was a big famous one as well.
Aye,
that was
seen them a few times. Like people
aye.
at Ingleton and that to see them, and
yeah,
that was decent.
Or
Radiohead at Glastonbury is another one I would like to have been at. I fucking love Radiohead. I think, and this is like a controversial thing, they are the best band in the world. Radiohead by a fucking country mile. If you're not into them, I feel bad for you. Fucking amazing band. Yeah, they're maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but they're fucking amazing. Anyway, John, what gig would you want to go to? Daphne and Celeste, Mr. Blobby.
No, probably something like
S Club 7 at their height.
The Chesney Hawks at his peak.
Probably something like Woodstock, or the second Woodstock, like the revival one, when, this is going to sound horrible, but when I think it was like Limp Bizkit, Korn, Kid Rock were playing. That seemed like it was a bit better. Like the second Woodstock was an absolute fucking horror show in terms of where it was held. Like, it was held, I think, it was like a disused army base, and there was not enough toilets, not enough water to go around, but there was a lot of really cool bands that were playing. So that was the sort of music that I was into when I was a bit younger. So I would have gone to
that. Discos 2, how come every time you ring a wrong number it's never engaged?
Well, because but when you do dial a number and it's engaged, you don't know it's the wrong number because they've not told you. So you only find out it's wrong when they tell you.
Aye. And he also asks, why did your smoke alarm battery only ever let you know it needs replacing at 3 a.m.? There's a timer on them. I swear that they never just start peeping in the middle of the day. It's always at the most inconvenient time.
We've got smoke alarms here that are connected to the mains. I understand that it's like a safety feature if the power was to get off. If the power was to be cut off and there was a fire to break out in your house, that there's like a battery backup. But I was doing my nut one day because I didn't make this connection at the time. I thought, no, it can't be the fire alarm that's beeping because it's connected to the mains.
Aye.
Then I had to get up, get the bloody chair, risk life and limb trying to get this thing down for the ceiling so I could get into the battery cover that hadn't been open for about 19 years or something.
Aye, that's a task in itself, isn't it?
It's
Right,
just an absolute bastard.
Last handful of questions, right? We've got 3 minutes before we've been on for 2 hours, so try and rattle through these, eh? Right. Given how old he is, it's from 150k to Hanlon Hill. Given how old he is, do you think Morton Hackett, was it Harkett or Hackett? Morton Harkett. I thought it was
Harkett.
I thought it was Harkett as well. Morton Harkett from AHA would still be game to take me on.
Wait, is it about 60, you reckon?
It must
be
be
60. Yeah.
Right. Was the song called Take Me On or Take On Me?
Take on
Take
me.
on me.
Right.
But then
62.
He sings this, right? It's a good song, right? Good pop song. But it goes all like ridiculously high pitched in it. And I can't remember if we've had this conversation here before, but his mates, like the other ones, so it was Morton, Mags, and Pal. That was the name of AHA, if I remember right. They all came what he sounds like him, and he's talking and everything, a deep voice guy and everything. And they get right, we've got this great wee tune, Morton, right? And he's got, all right, that's quite catchy. There's some words for it. He's going, that's great. I've written some words, and he's singing along, and then he goes high as fuck as he's singing it. Do you think the other two are sitting going, what's he done that for? Like, why would you do it? Why would you go that high when you're singing? I just never got it. Is it so that other folk can't sing along it? Because I can't sing along to that song. You can sing along to most of it, but there's bits that you go, I just need to shut up there because I can't hit that note.
Aye, sure enough.
Aye. But there's a few songs like that where singers do it. And I always think the first time that he did that, or she did that, what are the rest of the bit? Do you think they went, oh, fucking hell, what's he doing there? Anyway, I don't think he would be game to take you on. I think at 60 is probably what a quiet life. Matt Reed, does Lightning McQueen from Cars have car insurance or life insurance?
Well, let me think about this one. So, if car insurance would cover life, because it would be like I'm getting written off. So a car insurance.
Aye,
because life insurance would only cover him for being written off, whereas it wouldn't be covered for like any personal accident stuff or any of that stuff.
If his radio got chored, he'd have to replace it himself.
Aye.
He wouldn't be eligible for a courtesy car either, surely.
No.
Good point.
You need to cut him out.
You think within Lightning McQueen, like he's just like, I don't know how to put this, like, is there something within the car that is Lightning McQueen and the car's just like the chassis? Does that make sense?
The spirit of the car, you mean, like its soul?
I don't know.
It's just a cartoon, eh? It's just a cartoon.
Aye. You were saying when it comes written off, it's just like a puff of smoke out the exhaust. Goes away.
So if it's written off, like, is that him in hospital? Like, just imagine him in a hospital bed with like wheels up and pulleys and stoopies and that.
I see him written off as being dead.
Up.
Oh, written off, he's dead, and that's when he's getting his life insurance paid.
But who does the life insurance get paid it to?
Oh, he's next to kin.
His bairns, aye, a go-kart. Ricky said, why is New Scotland Yard called New Scotland Yard when it's been around for years and years?
Oh, aye.
There must be a point where they go. Aye.
But is there not Scotland Yard already, though? Aye. Because there'll be a Scotland Yard and then they built a new one and they called it New Scotland Yard. I think.
Aye. But they've not thought that through, though, have they?
It's just call it the newest Scotland Yard then until.
Aye.
Then they can just move that on.
Scotland Yard, aye. That's what they should have called it. Charlie Banks, where did the months of the year get their name from? Well,
like the Greeks or the Romans or something.
April is after the news reporter for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's
Right.
true. March was named, I think, after Kevin the Proclaimers wrote 500. I'm going to be the man that walks 500 miles, which is obviously all about marching. Well, they wrote it in a month that was unnamed until that point, and because the song was about marching.
Oh, I
That's
thought it was
how-
like to
that's
do
how-
with the marches in Ireland in the summer, but no,
Too,
that would be
too political. Too political. The month folks thought that's just asking for trouble. December was like decimal, like that, and it originally was where October is now, but they'd mistimed the months and realised they needed an extra 2 to make a full year, and rather than adding them on at the end, they put them in earlier and just pumped December at the end.
Right.
So it's number 12. It's just its name doesn't make sense. So I think that's most of them. January
Sounds about right.
was named after, was it Jan Lehman that used to read the news? She
Mhm.
got a month named after. July was after Juliet Bravo.
What was it?
Aye.
And June was it Terry and June, wasn't it?
100%
Everybody knew
right.
that one already.
Aye, 100%. November was originally called Vember, and somebody disagreed with it. So
Fuck's sake.
there's your answer, Charlie. How big a naan bread is plenty, says Ewan McAleese. Aye, if you could sleep under it, then that's it. If you could sleep under a naan bread, that's plenty. Otherwise, it's not enough. We agreeing?
I think so.
See, when you naan bread there, it's actually just naan, isn't it? Because naan means bread, isn't
Is
that right?
it?
It's like saying,
Does it?
aye.
Is it
It
no
does, I'm sure it
grandmother?
does. It's like, no, it's like duplicating. It's like duplicating words. It's like when folks say that big muckle thing over there. Big and muckle mean
Aye.
the same thing. It's like saying naan bread. Naan is bread. Anyway.
Okay. William asks, when does the Christmas shortbread stop coming into work? Is it the most addictive thing in the world? Well, most of us are working from home, so you only until you finish your own supply, surely. Unless
I used to always take it in.
bringing more.
Like, used to always take it in as well, because it would be like this time of year, you go, right, come on, I can stop eating biscuits now, I'll take them into work.
Aye, get rid of them.
So,
Fattest Prickus, if you were a lady and you got an itchy fanny, would you phone the doctor and say, I'm a bit vegetated?
I definitely would.
100%. He also asked, is the opposite of sprouts sprints?
And that makes sense.
Yep.
I
We have to
didn't-
start referring to that when at Christmas time. Leon asked, is sleeping time travel?
So for the months of January to November, there's sprints, but when it's December, there's
When it's
sprouts.
Christmas and sprouts. Aye.
It's good.
Is sleeping time travel?
No,
It's
You
I
only
think
go
it's
forward.
a limited form of time travel.
you only go forward.
Yeah. But then that's the same when you're awake, isn't it? But it's faster when you sleep.
Mhm.
So we'll take that. What if you're sat next
Is-
to
is
somebody who's
the-
sleeping, and do you both experience the benefit of that fast? Because if that worked like that, I've never kind of considered this. When you sleep, time goes dead fast. Like you go to bed and you wake up in the morning, you think, "Fucking hell, that was a quick 8 hours or whatever." And if it could be that quick, you could pay somebody to sleep beside you while you worked, and your day would be over fast as fuck. And you'd feel like you had more time between work and going to bed.
What?
I know, but it's the feeling, it's the perception of it, isn't it? You're
Aye.
getting into, you're thinking it, overthinking it.
Ken, what's better, I think, than well, it's no better than sleeping because sleeping's brilliant, but better than dreaming is the moment where you nod off for a second, and in that second, your subconscious goes absolutely daft, and it's constructed entire stories, planets, people, relationships, emotions, and it's just in that split second. They're amazing.
You do the thing sometimes when you're nodding off in your body, does that kind of makes you jump? That to wake you up again.
Yeah.
But apparently, and I don't know if this is it's true or not, apparently that's like a defense mechanism for your body to stop you shutting down quicker than you should. Like going into full sleep mode. It's like you're falling asleep too quickly. It wakes you up a bit, it gives you a wee jolt. And then you go
You're
down to
falling
like
asleep too quickly. Don't die.
don't die. And then it sorts you out. Oh, fucking hell, right, where are we? The Brunswick Bill. Why does Doyle Hayes always pass the ball back to one of the central defenders, then point to a player who he should have passed the ball to in the first place?
I think the reason for that is Jake Doyle Hayes is probably closer to the defence than he is the striker, and he doesn't have the shooting power or the passing power to make the pass that he wanted to make, so he wants someone else to do it for him.
Got the wrong,
It's because
boots on the wrong feet.
we've not got enough left-footed centre halves in the team.
Freddie says, why do people say my alarm clock went off when in fact it actually turned on? We got a bona fide answer for this, by the way. Councillor Tom Mcqueen said an alarm system is usually set, so you need something to trigger it. When it's triggered, it is offset, so you say it's gone off. It's the trigger that has gone off. I said that's probably not the answer that we would give.
It's not because it's died and started to decompose then.
Like it's gone mouldy.
No.
The other thing is, your alarm's gone off, but then you turn it off. It's like a double negative.
But shoot me, it
So
goes back on.
I think what Tom was saying something, the alarm had to be offset. So it was initial. Does that mean it was set initially? And then it's offset when it goes off?
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
Right, okay. Jockey 1875, how deep would the sea be without sponges? Which I thought was a brilliant question. Deeper? Or would it be because...
It would be less. Well, the sponge would soak up some water, wouldn't it?
Aye.
Would it be the same? Would it not be the same?
It would be because of displacement, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because the sponge would expand by the amount of water that's sucked in.
Aye.
So it should be the same depth, I think, by science rules. And last question, Kaiser Soze, what have you done without realising it? Without realising you were doing it? Bring your own bottle, for example.
Sleepwalking. You've done a bit of sleepwalking.
No, I've never done sleepwalking.
Annoyed away.
Snoring.
Standard.
Snoring would be included in that one, I guess, because
Aye.
regularly snore and get told that I've snored when
Do you ever
get
wake
woken up
yourself
to-
up with a snore?
I have done, but I normally get fucking punched before I get the chance to wake myself up to tell me to shut up. Was I snoring? Like, I don't even get told what it is. I just get a dig to the arm.
Just a punch.
Was I
I've
snoring,
got to work out what it is. You ever accidentally been to a party that you've not realised until later on?
I'll wait on the outcome of the inquiry before I
That was mental, eh? That was mental. Were you there? I don't know if it was there until the inquiries happened. That should be an instant sack. And see the next time they knock on your door, say, Ken, I'd like you to vote for me. Say, fuck off. I've seen you. You're a fucking idiot. Because look what you said here. Here's a video clip. You didn't know you were at the party until an inquiry told you. Did you care if you were at your work earlier on?
Imagine
Unless somebody tells me if I came where I've been.
after the comments, what was it, yesterday for Jacob Rees-Mogg, could you imagine being Douglas Ross trying to flag someone for offside, trying to go to someone's door to try and get their vote? You went, mate, you're fucking irrelevant.
Aye.
No one, your peers do not give a flying fuck about you. Why should I?
What did he say about him?
I think he referred to him as being a lightweight.
He's not a big player, like, or something like that. He's not a big player or a lightweight or something like that. I mean,
well, he is. He's not. He's right, Rees-Mogg, isn't he? But it's just the way they disparage Scotland in general all the way, because they've done it. They've done it at PMQs yesterday. Because Blackford asked his question and he says, "I wouldn't expect anything else for the SNP sort of thing."
Aye.
I mean, you're the one that's on fucking trial here.
Aye. Rees-Mogg, when we were talking last week about suits that are too big, he needs to go somewhere, like, he's got a lot of money. There's absolutely no excuse for him to dress like that.
Yeah.
None of his suits look like they fit. Anyway, we're out of time and out of questions. We've caught up. So start afresh next week. We'll have name a Christmas chat, nothing like that. We'll be good to go. If you made it through a full 2 hours, fucking well done.
Don't better me, because I never made it to the end. I was toiling about half an hour ago.
Struggling. If it wasn't for the months question, I think we would have been out on our arse ages ago. Right, we'll wrap up there. We'll be back on Sunday with Hibs and then Monday with Longbangers. Oh, maybe not Monday because Hibs are playing Celtic on Monday night. So we might have to do that.
And they've got the Cove game the following Thursday, so we're going to need to, I think.
Shuffle things. That's where we should have been clever with this. We could have got about 10 episodes out of this and they just not
Can you
recorded any next week.
Do some jiggery pokery?
I'm not doing jiggery fucking pokery with this. This is getting edited and fucking sent out and
This is
published.
just making it even longer, all this chat as well.
Yes, good point, Colin. Right,
Just
thanks
fucking get it how you get it.
Thanks for listening. Enjoy it. Let us know if you enjoyed it.
How are we going to finish again? Was it around? Were we applauding or were we?
A clap. Sorry, round of applause. Oh, over the head like a minute for a minute though. Not doing it for a minute. Right. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
Yes.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink water